prime suspect in the killing.
Where those shots rang out, Sean, the dead woman's boyfriend says it all started with an argument over a dog.
Well, Jim, we are learning more about what happened yesterday. Court documents say that couple were together with a dog when someone started yelling from an apartment across the street. We now know, according to investigators, they believe that man was the suspect who shot at them because he was upset about what was happening with the dog. But if you take a look right now, you can see there's a memorial for the young woman who was killed in that shooting, and we can actually see family members here tonight. They're wearing the clothing of a brand started by her boyfriend. We actually had the chance to talk to him last year, and he shared his passion for this company. A young woman with her whole life ahead of her. The oldest of 3 siblings, Isabella Thales celebrated her birthday just days ago.
We just want to wrap our arms around the family and help support and relieve some of that stress.
A family friend created a GoFundMe for Thales. So far, the response from the community has almost tripled their initial goal.
We're grateful to the community, and we're all united here in Denver.
Isabella was with her boyfriend Darian Simon when they were shot. He was rushed to the hospital.
I want to update you on breaking news out of Koreatown. Police say a woman is dead after a possible attempted carjacking. We have a live look at the scene right now on Council Street and North Mariposa Avenue. Police say the woman was in her car when a man approached her around 1 this morning. Witnesses say her dog started to bark and then shots were fired. The dog was taken to a veterinary hospital and is expected to be okay. The woman died at the scene, has not yet been identified.
His sister and nieces also remember him for his love and kindness.
That wing of protection, that wing of concern and love. Well, my daughters adored Uncle John. Both have 3 children, and they just adored him.
Friends say he was out walking his beloved dog on February 1st around 5:30 p.m. when he was attacked in the alley behind the Brig Bar off Abbott Kinney.
He was so messed up, black and blue face, elbow black and blue, and he told me that some guy asked if he knew him on Abbott Kinney, some homeless man, and he said, "No, I don't know you," and he started to walk away, and the guy just clocked him.
She says he waited a few days before going to the hospital. She says doctors ended up admitting him with a broken jaw, shattered elbow, and hip injuries. He succumbed to his injuries last weekend.
Oh, and he kept calling me saying, "I'll be out in a couple days." He really didn't think it was the last few days that really took him out.
Business is.
A neighbor's security camera caught the final quiet moments in the life of Merlin McAllister, walking his dog like he did every day here in the 1700 block of North Major. Minutes after leaving his house, his wife Rosie heard 3 gunshots.
I looked across the street and saw a dog pacing in the alley. So I saw my husband laying on the ground. I ran over and asked him, "What happened to you, honey?" He lifted up his shirt because his coat was open and showed me the bullet wound. It was in his abdomen.
Crews rushed McAllister to Loyola Hospital. Doctors tried but failed to stop the intense bleeding. A bullet had ripped open a major artery. His family is still grappling with this tremendous loss.
Every day I try to understand why him. Why that time of day? Why? And I can't understand. No one can make sense of this.
When Robert Graham walked out his front door Thursday afternoon, he looked up to see police cruisers surrounding the intersection of Aqueduct and Intervale Roads in Cranston.
I came to take the dogs out for a walk and looked to my right, and rescue and police and everybody were already here. Didn't hear a thing.
Colonel Michael Winquist says the intersection is where 58-year-old Rhonda Lobono was struck and killed by a pickup truck. According to Winquist, the driver of the truck was stopped at a stop sign and did not see Lobono before pulling out.
Doesn't appear speed was a factor. Alcohol was a factor here. Just a matter of just bad circumstances. The woman was crossing. He didn't see her, and she walked in front of his vehicle, and unfortunately, this is the result.
According to Colonel Winquist, Lobono lives on Intervale Road and was walking her dog at the time of the accident.
The dog was kind of pulling her a little bit. It's a bigger dog, and pulled her forward and unfortunately into the path of the vehicle.
Graham says he's lived in the area for 6 years and had to petition the city to make the intersection a four-way stop.
Because there was no stop signs there at all. I mean, literally 50 miles an hour going around the curves at all times.
No charges are expected, according to police.
A man accused of fatally stabbing a woman and her dog in San Dimas remains in the hospital. Now, that attack happened yesterday at Lone Hill Park on Renwick Street. Witnesses say a man in his early 20s was waving a knife and yelling he was going to kill somebody. The suspect went after one man who ran off and then turned his attention to that woman walking her dog. The first victim actually came back and threw a rock to try and stop the attack.
He jumped out of his vehicle. He was looking for something. He looked down. There was a rock by the tree. Picked it up. He threw the rock. It hit the guy in the face and knocked the suspect out.
Riverside, a woman there was stabbed and killed while walking her dogs. It happened this morning along Golden Avenue, just north of Stonewall Drive. The victim, who is described only as an Asian American woman in her 50s, was laying in the street with stab wounds to her stomach when police got there. She was rushed over to the hospital, but sadly did not make it. Investigators believe this was a random attack, though, and they have detained a homeless woman as the prime suspect in the killing.